listen to fall to the floor.
Welcome back to another pen talk. Today we're going to go back into history again. I did a little review of the dual fold vacuumatic, so I felt it was only good to do a similar look at something that Waterman did in the mid-30s that I find to be extremely interesting from a color perspective, and also if you take a look at pens, filling mechanisms, and the market that they were competing in, you get an appreciation of what they did. So I think Waterman had a very extensive catalog, and they did evolve from year to year. So the pen here at the bottom is an ink view. It's a smaller ink view, but I just love the red color. Then we have a Lady Patrician, and that color, let me check the book, is turquoise. Then we have a pen that I can't place. It has no number on it. It has some features from all the different series, and it's in a beautiful onyx. And then we have a series of two number 3s. This is a 3V. This is a 3 that I did a video on, and I called it a 3V, but obviously if you can look at the size differences, they are quite different. And this is also a 3, but it has a clip on it which places it in a different time frame. It still has silver trim for the box lever, so it's kind of an anomaly pen. And then if you look at this one, you could say, oh, that's another 3V, but no, it's a 92 AV. So Parker designated the pens that had the nickel-plated or the silver-colored trim were their lower-cost models, and if they gold-plated the trim, they charged you another 50 cents, and they gave it another model number. So I think it's only time now to take a look at these in a little bit more detail. This is a beautiful red celluloid. The other thing that's nice is they have this kind of diamond pattern on the clip, which is also replicated in the band at the bottom of the cap. These are what's called a military clip because it allows you to fit all the way into the pocket. There's nothing protruding up towards the top. So in order to secure that, they needed some type of mechanism here, which they varied from the different views. This is an ink view, which this is a clear section here. I'll bring in my light and let you see that. This was restored by Ron Zorn because I didn't trust myself to do a restoration on this pen. It's not easy and you need certain tools and certain parts, but I just love the way this pen looks. We'll bring in the trusty LED. And we'll show you the translucency there. You can see the breather tube that's in there. It's not extremely clear, but it certainly will let you see the ink level once you fill it. And you can get a pretty good fill. As you can see, the breather tube goes up all the way here, so this whole section here can be full of ink. Moving on to the Lady Patrician. I would love to have this in an actual Patrician. Beautiful blue and gold flecks and just a great pattern. This pen has a nice imprint on it. It has the classic design of the cap band in a Patrician, which again kind of mimics the design on the clip. Military style clip. As you can see, it's the same type of clip, but just with a little bit of different pattern on the clip part. So we'll feast our eyes on this a little bit. Now moving on to another pen. Again, I can't really place this one, but I love it. This is the onyx pattern. You can see a little bit of the inner cap showing through there, but this just is beautiful. It has the Patrician design where they have an ebonite ring here at the bottom below the cap band. Your classic box lever fill. A decent engraving there. Trying to see how well we can bring that out. And if you go to the bottom of the barrel where there's usually a number, there's absolutely nothing there. I've looked at this under a loop. And this pen is in pretty good shape, so it's not like it wore off. So again, strange, you have a cap band here that's kind of like a Patrician, but not exactly like that. You have the old style clip with the rivets in it, which is similar to like your 52s and that series that was in hard rubber. But again, just a beautiful ebonite unscrew it post. And just to give you an example of, these are usable pens, posted. Unposted, they're a little small. They don't weigh anything, so posting just doesn't do anything except give you some extra length there. Now we're going to go into the 3 series, and I'd call this the Moss Agate, I think. So again, similar type of clip design, but you notice this one has 2 holes in it. It has a little bulge here at the top, which distinguishes it from the 3. Again, a beautiful acrylic, quite unique. Number of pens may have had this type of acrylic other than just Watermans. I'm certain whoever made it, it could be DuPont. And as we can see, the different engravings in the bottom of the barrel, the 3 and the 3V. We'll bring up the black one just to show you it is actually a 92 AV. Waterman did a lot to keep their pens in a particular group and order. So just to give you an example of a size, here's a actual Patrician against the Lady Patrician, and there is a significant size difference between those two. And obviously, if you take a look at the nib, you'll also see a substantial difference. I mean, it's very big. The Patrician's known for its large nib. And as you can see, it has Patrician on it. Sadly, this pen does not have a clip in the cap. I don't have a complete Patrician of any form whatsoever. I got a bunch of parts. Someday I might put them all together and give myself one nice writing instrument. Thought we want to take a look at the 2 ink views, normal size and lady size. And again, good difference between the 2. Both of these have been restored by Ron Zorn. I love the pattern in this one. And again, if we take a look at the nibs, interesting striped feet on the back of that one. As we can take a look at the nibs, obviously one has the keyhole and the other one's your standard number 2 nib, which has been around forever. Both of these are extremely flexible. Doesn't take much pressure to spread those tines. Here's another size comparison with a modern pen in the mix, Pelican M800. The Patrician holds its own in regards to that. This is the other one I have in black, but this one, I only have one nib. This also has some oxidation. The lever bar and the lever, I have some issues with them. So again, that's a pen that I might eventually end up having somebody restore for me. But right now, I've written with as I can over them, and the nib is not something that I'm extremely excited about. But as a pen, as a collector, as part of the history of pens, it certainly is one of those iconic pens that are good to take a look at. Here's a comparison of nibs and sections. The Patrician certainly holds its own against the M800. Nib size, section size, so that's very interesting. Here's your, this is kind of a 94 size, so it's a 4 size nib in this ink view. Here, these 2 are number 2 nibs, which you can see the long tines on this one, which is going to make that flex, like I said, extremely easily. This one also has great flex as well as this one, so Waterman was known for that, especially in the 30s and 40s. So if you got more, I'd say the average type of nib, you would definitely get some decent flex from it. Interesting to look at an ad from a 1933 Waterman's catalog. There's a series of Lady Patricians. As we scroll down, we can take a look at the descriptions of the materials, description of the pen. They talk about being specifically designed for women. If we zoom ahead to 1936, we'll see the Lady Patrician comes in an ink view as well as a regular type, and we got to look at both of those pens. As we scroll down to look at the descriptions, I'm not certain exactly. I think mine might be Sunset. The color doesn't come across as much as it does in reality as compared to this, and you can see the onyx is still in the line. And again, they're positioning this as a woman's pen, but as a man, I have no problem using it. It'd be interesting to take a look at the real pen with onyx compared to the photograph in the magazine. Sorry, this isn't the Patrician model. This is the one I can't identify. Here we are comparing the actual 92 AV that I have with the one in the catalog. It matches up pretty well. And an interesting description, and that was $3.50. One thing that is different is the top of the clip here is smooth, and the top of the clip here has a little ridge in it, which might just explain the 92A. Hello. Thought we'd ink one of these up and put nib to paper. And since I don't know what this is, I mean, it's not a Lady Patrician, it's not a number 3, but it has one of those great number 2 nibs that Waterman is known for. I mean, it's a fine line with no pressure. Put a little bit of pressure on it and boy do they open up, and it does put down a lot of ink. So this is a typical number 2 nib. I did a little bit of smoothing on this because they can be a little scratchy, especially because there's such a fine line. And as we talked about before, you can write small. This is Robert Oster Jade ink, which I like. I think it has great shading, it's great color. It works well in this vintage pen, so I thought a pen from the 30s and ink from 2016, what better combination can you have? So I think we should zoom in a little bit on this nib and see how it does flex. No pressure, some pressure. I mean, that's not a lot of pressure. That's one of the things about vintage flex is you don't need much pressure. And it might be good for me to spell properly. Over the camera, this is an interesting thing to try to do. Hopefully you get an idea from this view of why I love vintage. I mean, this is a beautiful pen. Camera's on zoom, so it's not going to focus as much as it normally would, but it's just a beautiful onyx acrylic. Pen's in excellent shape. You know, it feels good in the hand. It doesn't feel small. I mean, this is, if those familiar with Watermans 52, they made this kind of shape, design, section, and nib for about 20-30 years. They've all been extremely good. I find them very easy to restore. They're easy to take apart, clean. So, thank you for watching. May you have wonderful and excellent writing experiences. Say goodbye to 2016. 2017 should be filled with more writing experiences, more inks, more paper. Enjoy life, enjoy your pens. Till later, bye.